Hi everyone and good morning. My name is Godfrey Diema, Solution Engineer supporting the utilities industry. Welcome to our first webinar series for this year. So I'll be taking you through enabling smart inspection workflows with the ArcGIS Field Maps. So most organizations leveraging on traditional methods of asset inspections, which are basically more based of manual inspection workflows. And these manual inspection workflows basically involves a lot of or basically paper-based inspections forms, which need to be written and then be printed on paper. Forms which are quite tedious and difficult to efficiently collect data. And again, it also makes it more difficult or more manual in terms of data compilation, because you need to do data entry from these forms into a digital format, which are quite time consuming. And again, it doesn't provide a provision whereby you can be able to geotag the photos that have been taken in the field, which are being taken separately with a camera or a different device, which basically becomes difficult in terms of you need to download it first, then rename the photo so that you can be able to reorganize all this information into a particular folder. And basically file management and renaming conventions becomes more difficult, because you could have data sets that is huge in size and large in number, because it will take a lot of time in terms of compiling them and managing them into a particular drive. And again, for the field operations, you'll have maps, topographical maps that are printed, and these maps are hand-drawn features on topographical maps, which might not really give full guidance or direction of the field worker to the field, so that he or she is able to collect these or do aspect inspections in the field. So basically, these traditional methods of data collections are quite difficult, and we as Esri, we've been able to ensure that we develop a geo-enabled approach that has that one focus apps for each activity that you could be able to use in the field for data collection. For this geo-enabled approach basically empowers these organizations to take up on the existing workflows and enhance with a spatial enabled capability or functionality. Then you could be able to collect this data in real time or near real time manner. So this basically is similar to our cell phone technology that basically uses locational-based thinking, whereby they've been integrated with a GPS location that these geo-enabled apps basically runs or ride on these smart devices, so that you can be able to pick this data in the field based on the location of these assets. So basically, Esri has been able to ensure that this geo-enabled approach has been developed by developing an ArcGIS Field Maps application that you could install on your smart device. Then you could be able to use it in terms of data collection. So for this ArcGIS Field Maps, you've been able now to integrate these each focused apps into one app that you can be able to use basically for workforce coordination and management, whereby we have ArcGIS workforce that you can be able to use to perform such a task. Then we've been able to ensure that within this one app strategy, you can be able to navigate your mobile workers or the field workers into the field by using the ArcGIS navigator, that this navigation capability that you'll be able to get within your ArcGIS field maps. So, and again, within these ArcGIS field maps, you can be able to ensure that you can explore and really understand the areas that you can be able to do your asset inspection by using the ArcGIS Explorer, but whereby you can be able to explore these maps that you'd want to use them for this field activity of asset inspections using the ArcGIS Explorer. So basically, the ArcGIS Collector was one of our products or one of our apps that you could be able to use to collect data in the field, but now is being replaced by ArcGIS Field Maps, so that you can be able to have a one app strategy that all these other apps have been included. Therefore, you can also be able to monitor your fleet, or basically you can be able to monitor your workforce, where they are on the ground by using the ArcGIS trackers that you can be able to install on the smart devices that you have, so that you can be able to track every asset that is on fleet, or basically the workforce that is on the ground. And basically putting up these apps together, ArcGIS Workforce and Tracker, and even Explorer, you can be able to coordinate field activities in a very easy way, and therefore ensuring that we have that one mobile app strategy that is best, that ensure that these focused apps for each activity have been integrated into one single solution that you can be able to use to collect your data in the field. And basically, this enables a field worker to now work efficiently in terms of this data collection in the field. So this geo-enable approach basically rides on the inspections and inventory forms that you are able to digitize the paper-based forms into inspection and inventory forms that are smart in nature, so that you can be able to use these forms to collect the data in the field. So this basically the custom GIS-based inventory form that we can deploy in a variety of field applications for asset inspections and even asset inventories, basically replacing traditional paper-based forms that are quite tedious working with in the field. And this ensures that these organizations can be able to work more efficiently for these data collection activities within your area of service. So whether you need a paper map-centric data collection methods or a robust form with the collection methods, or a robust form with the conditional questions, or plan to conduct rapid inventories via windshield surveys, GIS application can be customized and accessed from any smart device for easy data collection. And basically this app that I'm talking about is the ArcGIS Field Maps that can be able to use to perform all these tasks in the field. So for you to now deploy these ArcGIS Field Maps on your smart device, so basically to run on two platforms, on the Apple platform or on the Android platform, whereby you can be able to download ArcGIS Field Maps on the Google Play, or you can download it on the App Store, basically on your Apple device. Then you'll be good to go to collect the data that field activity or operation in the field in an easier way. And again, this ArcGIS Field Maps is basically has various benefits that we'll be able to get out of now digitizing these traditional methods of inspections, of asset inspections in the field, whereby you only have a one or single app to deploy. Then you can easily learn it for your purposes of ensuring that you can be able to collect your data in the field. And basically, you only make it easier for you to collect data in the field because you only need just one sign in into the ArcGIS only once. You can be able to sign on to your portal and even your ArcGIS Field Maps app using the same credentials, and then you'll be able to go. So basically, this eliminates duplication of offline content, because you can be able to collect your data in the field. If it doesn't have internet, then you could be able to ensure that this data is synced into the portal or into the centralized database based once you access internet connectivity, and then this data could be synced. So this basically it ensures that there's that consistent user experience in terms of maneuvering from one area to another while you're conducting your data collection, activity. So this basically ArcGIS Field Maps has that improved feature deployment. You can easily deploy it very easily on your device. So ArcGIS Field Maps provides field workers with secure 24-hour access to your organizational maps, basically on your mobile device, ensuring they have the most current information on them, because you could be able to ensure that you always update your maps before you go to the field. So field workers can easily locate assets and the data, and even add markups and notes to document and even share findings with other personnel within the organization using ArcGIS Field Maps. So maps are even dynamic in disconnected environment, because we can now ensure that you can be able to ensure that if you go offline, you can restore it, then be able to collect this information in the fields. Therefore, this basically app could also help in terms of transparency in the field. It ensures there's that transparency in the field, whereby it achieves real-time location awareness of field personnel. So you know where everyone is, or you can quickly adapt to changing circumstances by locational tracking analysis, which can be used to verify when, where, by whom work was done using this geo-enabled approach that you cannot be able to perform based on the traditional methods that rely more on the paper-based workflows. So you can quickly deploy these field maps to any field workforce, because you could be able having various tasks that you want to achieve within your organization. Maybe you are a water utility company, maybe you are a transport agency like railways. You want to monitor each and every asset, the way they are performing, or you want to inspect on the condition of these assets. So you can be able to use it to conduct any kind of activity within your organization. Then the geo-enabled inspection workflows basically write on mobile app strategy, and this mobile app strategy is whereby you deploy your ArcGIS, your field map solutions to your mobile device. And for this purpose of deploying these field map solutions to your device, you are able to now do what you call grid mapping to ensure that there's that grid mapping system whereby you can be able to collect data with high accuracy within your area of interest. Then it also ensures that there's that efficiencies in terms of field operations, or that there's that communication between your field operations and the office operations. So there's that efficiencies in terms of that geo-enabled inspection workflows that makes more sense to the business activity that you are conducting. So it's more intuitive, scalable, efficient, and even affordable in terms of deploying these mobile app strategy. So GIS management now becomes automated and more simplified, location-enabled workflow performance in terms of reducing costs by improving data quality, accuracy, resource allocation, because you can be able to allocate each and every resource to a particular area of interest, and based on the area that in terms of acreage or kilometer square, and basically monitor these activities within your organization. So basically, and again, it has a functionality of that state-of-art navigation capabilities, because you could be able to use even Google Maps or Navigator to navigate this workforce into the field. So for you to ensure that you intelligently collect your data in a smarter format, we've been able now to ensure that we've provided a geo-enabled functionalities within these smartphones, as we'll be able to see through our demonstration. So these smartphones within the ArcGIS is basically a new way to create and edit attribute data that you need to go to the field to collect. And this basically might include web map specifications that you want to be captured while you want to collect this data in the field. And basically it's being supported in the map viewer of your portal of ArcGIS or the ArcGIS portal. So this simplifies field editing experiences rather than having traditional methods that are based on the paper-based, which might be difficult in terms of now you need to collapse some questions, or you need to ensure that there are those questions that will only pop up once you click on them, which is a functionality that you cannot find on these manual-based data collection ways. So, and again, on these smartphones, you'll be able to have a designed user experience in the field maps, because you can be able to do that, that you can be able to configure these forms on the web app for the field maps. Therefore, these key capabilities that will ensure this mobile worker can be able to work efficiently in the field is that you can be able to ensure that you group a particular similar questions, or organize particular fields that you want to be captured in the field into a particular group. Then you could be able to provide conditional visibility to the fields or those particular attributes that you need to now go to the field to collect. And again, this ArcGIS web app that you can be able to use to configure the smartphones can now help. You can be able to now format your forms and its fields based on how you want them to be seen. And again, you can be able now to qualify the required fields, and even ensure that those particular fields are just basically read only, because this information you could be having it already in your database, and you only need this already the information that is already in the system, in the database, that you want them to just use this information to be updated on other attributes. So we only ensure that you make them read-only, so that they cannot be interfered while you are conducting your asset inspections within your organization in the field. And therefore, this streamlines, you can be able to streamline data entry using input types within these forms, because there are those fields that we want to ensure that they are of a particular type, let's say text, or they want them to be of numerical properties. So we can be able to ensure that is achieved within these smartphones that is being provided within the ArcGIS Field Maps web application that you can be able to use now to configure these forms. So basically, this takes us to the next level, whereby I'll be demonstrating on how you could be able to now configure a smartphone. Okay, so this field maps is basically designed to accommodate a variety of field data collection workflows, because you could be able to use it on any organization to ensure that you can be able to now collect this data in the field. So it brings the same capabilities you had in Collector, because there are some of our clients are still using collector for ArcGIS, but we can still support, we can still get the same functionalities that we are getting in the ArcGIS Field Maps within the collector for ArcGIS. So some of these examples is using field maps, maybe to record the current status of a utility, or you are doing a routine pipeline maintenance operations. So you could be able to ensure that that has already been accommodated within the ArcGIS Field Maps. So in addition to that, inspections, we also support transactional model of collecting data, because you can manage these changes once they come to the system. So if you are working on a new data collection project of a geographically dispersed area where there's no chain of conflict, then you could be able to use other methods of versioning this database that you have in place. So basically, now you could also even use the versioning, which could also help you in terms of ensuring that there's a replica information into your entire database and into an entire portal. And basically, this versioning is basically a mechanism that enables concurrent multi-user database editing within the ArcGIS environment while you're conducting your field operations. So I'll go to my demo. The demo is basically will now take you through how you can be able to configure a smart form that you can be able to use now to collect this data in the field to ensure that this doesn't now leverage on the traditional methods of data collection. So allow me to share my screen again so that you can be able to now see what I'm talking about. So for you to now collect this data in the field, you need to ensure that you have prepared your maps. So you need to prepare these maps within the ArcGIS desktop environment, whereby you'll be able to determine those particular fields that you'll be able to need to capture in the field. So basically, on this application, which is ArcGIS Pro, I could go to the content, then open that attribute table so that I can be able to show you the attributes, some of the attributes that I'm interested in on the water service connections, whereby I need to do asset inspections and even to do data collection based on this schema that I've developed for this field activity. So I would want now to collect data, or I would want to go to the field, do asset inspections once I have an existing database that I have. So on my existing database is basically for water utility. And again, for this water utility, I will want to ensure that on this attribute table that I need to ensure that I have the facility identifier, the account number, the meter service area, service, whether it is yes or no. I need to have a service type. I need to have to include the installation date. I need to include the location description. I need to now include all these attributes that I'll want to use now to go to the field and collect this data in the field. And can even now capture the current meter readings of these particular assets or these particular customers that you've been able to access in the field. So for you now, already, because you've already created your map within the ArcGIS Pro environment, now you can be able to have a provision whereby you can be able to share your maps. Once you click on the share tab, you can be able to share your maps to the portal of ArcGIS using as a web map or of a feature layer, and then you could be able to now create a web map that you can be able to use now to collect data in the field. So I'll go now to the portal of ArcGIS, so that I ensure that now we are at a place where we need to now create these smart forms. So now I'm on the portal. So on the portal, I can be able now to access the maps that are already published on this portal using the launcher. There's a launcher here whereby I'll be able to access the field maps applications on the web that I can be able to now use to collect this data in the field, to create a form. So I click on it so that it's able to launch now. So ensure that you already log into your ArcGIS portal so that you can be able to now access the maps that you already created. So on the top right corner, you can be able to see there's my name, Godfrey, whereby that ensures that I've logged into the portal, and therefore I can be able now to see the map that I already published on this portal. So I can be able to now click on this map to ensure that I can now configure this particular smart form that I need to have for field operations. So I need to click on it. And click on it so now it is here. So it will be able to give you various options, and the first options that comes up is be able to see the title of your map, that is Nairobi Water Asset Inspection for Utility, and you can be able to have an overview of that particular map that you want to use. And this map basically was created by the username Godfrey Ludiema, and it was updated on 10th of that. So basically get more details on that. And you can even edit the title to give it a particular title that you want to have. Then if you want now to configure now your form, you need to now click on the content. Basically on the content, this is where you'll be able to get the layers, that the GIS layers that you want to use now to collect this data in the field. So because I'm interested in inspecting the meters or the water service connections, because I will want to inspect these customer meters to ensure that there's those legit customers that exist within our water service territory area database. So I will click on the water service, or I'll simply choose the water service connections, so that I'm now able to get a form. So this is already a pre-prepared form that I already created. Basically, you can be able now to create such a form that has the customer details, whereby you'll be able to have a group of questions within that customer details section. Then you can be able to have the meter service question, meter readings questions, and all those. So basically now I'd want us now to show you how this form was created. So I'll simply clear this form, because I'm now the administrator who created this form. So basically I can be able now to access this map, then I could be able to change it. So for me to configure this form, you can configure this form from a pop-up, from converting pop-ups from the fields that we have. So you could basically click on the convert pop-ups, then you're now good to capture each and every field, because those are the fields that were captured while you are developing your database schema. So on the map, you could give it a title. And the good thing is that once you click on that particular field, it will be able to give you a form builder that can give you options for properties that you now change or format the title of your map. So let's say it is an asset, meter asset inspections, meter, or you could say water meter asset inspections. So basically this will be a form of the title of your form. you can be able to ensure that you format it in a manner that you want it to appear in a better manner. And to ensure the first ones are letters. Now, so that's basically form our title. Then basically we only have one group because you only configured using the convert pop-up, whereby you're able to capture all the fields that you already have. But now we want to limit the particular field that doesn't want to appear, or want to have those particular fields that appear in a manner that you want to see. So I'll simply create a group that being provided a functionality from the form builder elements. So I'll go to the group as on the layout. I'll just choose the group, then I'll drag it and put it on the top of the group that I already have created from the convert pop-up. So I'll say this group could have aspects of customer details. Then I will now choose a particular field that I want to move it to customer details. So I'll want these customer details to have account number. And then I will want to see whether this customer has that meter service, the type of the customer or the service this customer is receiving. Then I would also now need to know the condition of the customer. Is the customer critically affected with our service? Or if there is a damage on the meters, is this customer critically affected with the billing? And again, I could also ensure that once I've been able to capture some of these customer details, I'll also ensure that like things like account number details, they should be of that of a particular length. Maybe I would say account number should be of 8 characters. So I'll go to that. Then I could also ensure that there is a placeholder. I could put a placeholder so that I can be able to ensure that there is that data collection experience. It is being achieved within the field by ensuring that I provide an easier way of this data collection in the field, rather than other than using the hard copy maps that you can want to be able to get some of these functionalities. Then you could also ensure that the input type, you can be able to ensure that that particular field is only able to accept either is it a single text line, or you can be able to now create a barcode that you can be able to use to scan a particular field to capture information. So I'll want to ensure that that gives us a guide. Then I would also make the account number as a mandatory field. I could also make it a field that is most required. We'll just enable that option. Or you can also make this particular field account number. You could also make it as that field that is not editable. So you can also allow editing, or you can make it off. So if you uncheck here, you will be able to ensure that it is not editable anymore. Then also I can do the rest to the other questions to make them required questions, like the service. I could also ensure that they are required. They must be answered with the field worker in the field. Yeah. So I could also now create another group. I could also create another group, second group, whereby I'll be able to have the installation date, when the asset inspections was done. So I could say inspections. So basically it captures the date information. So I could also ensure that those sections are captured here. Then also ensure that there is last updated? When was that meter last updated into the database? So I'll ensure that that is captured. Then I could also make it a mandatory question that needs to be captured. Input type, I also ensure that is it can be able to capture even data and time when that was done. So basically now let us leave it at date. Then ensure that it is is a required question. Then you could go to other questions. So for the other questions that it doesn't need to have on this form, you could also just click on them so that you are be able to remove them where you want to go to the field, because things like the distance, you may not be interested in capturing them, but you want to capture attribute information of who was the last editor, who was this last field worker in the field, and therefore you already have a form. So for this particular group 1, I can also rename it to other details. That need to be collected in the field. And I will choose some of them to ensure that they are mandatory. So I'll want to ensure that the last person who updated that should be able to fill that particular part. It is managed by which organization. So also make it a required question. So basically we choose those fields that you want to ensure that are captured while you're doing your field operations. And those ones that it doesn't require, you may just need to remove them. So once you've done that, you can now be able to save. If you click on the save button, you should be able now to save your form. And again, I could also ensure that there's that user experience in the field by ensuring that I'm able now to collapse on the initial start of that form. So I need to ensure that it is unchecked using the formatting of that form so that I can be able now to save space on the screen of the smart device once I'm able to now go to the field to collect data in the field. So basically this kind of just minimizing space on your screen for your easier way of collecting this data in the field by your field personnel. And again, the very last thing that we need to ensure is to have a date. We need to ensure that there's a date of inspection. We need to have the date when this activity was conducted, date of field inspections, so that you can be able now to track each and every activity that was conducted within that particular time space or period. Date of field inspections. Fields. Basically, you can give it a good name. We give it a date of asset inspections. Then ensure that that is captured within your. So you could always make it date, and you also make it as a required questions that need to be captured. Then ensure that you save. Once you save, this should be captured within your smartphone. So the next level that I want us to take you through is to how to show you how you can be able to access this smartphone on your smart device. So I'll want to now to connect my screen. So if now I connect my screen, I should be able now to see my smart device, and this smart device is an Android smartphone that you can be able to go to the Google Play or Play Store, and you'll be able to now download ArcGIS Field Maps. Then you'll be able to install it. So it will create a shortcut on your apps. It will be one of apps that you've been able now to install on your smart device. So this now you can do to click on the ArcGIS Field Maps, whereby it will require a login. You'll be able to need to have a login. So I could just log it out so that I could log it again. So it will require a login. So that's why it is very important to have a username and a password on the portal that provides this software as a service to the organization. So this one you can sign in with your. You can now sign in with your password. And now sign in with your password. Sure that just a minute to ensure that I'm now reconnected to the internet. So I'll sign in again. I'll sign in again. So it is taking a bit of time to now reconnect because it needs internet. So once you've been able to configure your smartphone on the ArcGIS Field Maps web, now you can be able now go to your mobile device that you already installed on your the app that you already installed on your mobile device, so that you can be able now to access these maps using your ArcGIS Field Maps. So it requires you to log in. You can log in either with the ArcGIS Online or Enterprise Portal. So it will require me to log in so that I'm able now to access the same map that I had created and the smartphone that we created. So I log in with my username, the same username that I have already on the portal. So just give it a minute so that I'm now able to do so. now it will be able now to launch my app, and it will be able to take me to the maps that I've already created. And one of these maps that I created, you can easily be able to search it. Because if you would have, if you know the name of that map, for us it was a map for, I think, Nairobi water. Nairobi water. You should be able to get it as the first one, so be able to click on it. So the good thing with the ArcGIS Field Maps, it makes it very easy for someone or a user to be able to access these maps for these field operations. So now that these field maps is it basically uses the GPS functionality within your mobile device. It is intelligent enough to tell me where I'm located, because now it's if I'm not within the area of mapping, it will be able to just take me to an area, the current area that I'm located in. But you can be able to pan on your map, going back to the area that you are doing your field inspection. So this is the area that we want to do our field inspection. Give it time, because give it time for it to maximize on the screen. So this is the same map that we had, and we've been able to configure a smartphone. So you may want to do an asset inspection of a particular meter, because simply just click on a meter, select that particular meter. Just give it a minute so that it can render, because it is taking some few minutes to render, so that it can initialize the map with its regular shape. So I think it is taking some time to ensure that it renders the map. So, and again, the good thing with the these field activity, you can be able now to work smart, because you could be able now to collect new data sets that you didn't have, that never existed within your database. So you need to ensure that, I think it is it's taking some minutes. So if it is kind of hanging, you could ensure that you restart your application again. So once you've been able to log in into your ArcGIS Field Maps, you should be able to access the maps that you already created. And again, because ArcGIS Field Maps basically uses the GPS functionality or that is enabled within your device, you should be able to locate you to your current position where you're located. So if you you've gone to the field and you are collecting data, or you want to do these inspections, you'll not be able to do this field inspection unless you are within the area that these field activities are supposed to be conducted. So I'll simply click on one of the features, the meters, the service connections, so that I'm able now to inspect this particular meter. So if I click on that meter, it will be able to give me attributes of that particular meter. And again, on the map, it will be able now to select that particular meter of this customer. So I'll want to change some attributes that I've gotten from this customer in the field, or some of these attributes that have changed over time of this kind of a customer. Maybe the customer has changed from domestic use to commercial use or industrial use. I'll want to capture this information while I'm doing this field inspection so that I'm able to have a correct database within this water utility. So for me to be able to edit, I need to ensure to choose on the pen at the bottom left so that I can be able now enable editing. So if the position of this meter has changed, I could now be able now to update the new position, because is when I can be able now to pick the correct position of this meter. So let me say our meter has changed position, it was moved. So I could update that point. So I'll just click on the update point. So you see that the meter has already moved to the new location. And then I'll need now to ensure that I've captured the details of this customer about the changes. So I'll only leave the meter, which is already, the account number is already existing, but now this customer has changed from domestic type to commercial type. So I'll just choose on this drop down so that I'm able to now change those attributes. Then I could also change the date when was this last updated. So it's being updated today. It is being updated today. So just allow me to reconnect again. So it is being updated today. So I'll just ensure that I capture the today's date. Then I say, okay. Then I should be good to say other attributes. I verify these other attributes are okay. Then I could now say, I could now submit our data. So it is simply not updating because there's a particular field that is being required and is not filled. So it is intelligent enough to tell us this particular information that need to be captured and we didn't capture. So we need to capture the date when this inspection was done. So it was basically today. And they now say, okay, then it will be in a position now when you can be able to update. So once you click on the tick at the top right corner, it will be now in progress, and then you'll be able to submit this information. So basically, you would have done an asset inspection and updated the information, that acquired information from the field into this utility inspection database. And again, maybe you are more interested along the way when you are doing your inspection, you found there's a customer that is supposed to be connected and that doesn't exist within your GIS. So this basically, as I said, these ArcGIS Field Maps is a breed mapping system so that you breed more data into the system. So you can be able to capture new data sets by clicking on the plus sign so that you are able now to capture more information into the database. Well, I want to keep to capture customer meters. So I would say the date when this inspection was done was today, and say okay. Then I will also ensure that I capture the current position. Maybe I could ensure that I can update that point. Then I could capture the customer information, which I need now to capture the account number. So I only need to ensure that I only have those characters that are required in that particular field. The customer connected, yes. If the customer type should be domestic, critical condition, no, just say false, that customer is not in a critical condition, is able to get the service. Installation date is maybe it was 1st of February, need to capture that. Then when it was last inspected or updated, supposed to be today. So basically having this time aspect into your data sets, this basically ensures that we have a historical view of your assets. Let's see. So I could say the facility identifier should be Nairobi Water. The location of that meter should maybe up to the gate. Location identifier, maybe you could give it a code, maybe G001. Then ensure that other attributes that are filled are correct, and then you could now say submit. So by doing this, you'll be able now to, you'll have done asset inspection and at the same time updated your database with the new assets that you've been able to acquire within your area of service. So thank you so much for that presentation, and I will allow questions and comments. Thank you.